KRBrickBot, and I'm finally getting to the very last Tobot v Galaxy Guard member, number 7 Power Loader, aka Dozer. The most generic name ever to name any sort of themed bot and vehicle, just Tobot Dozer. I mean, just on their own, Power Loader sounds like generic words, but I think there's one Power Loader you would think of. Not even Power Dozer. A nice gradient orange primary color. Robot mode and then number 7. Season 3 right there. The background is the most colorful and eye-striking. As you can clearly tell, that's a construction site. Even with a turn sign and caution tapes and railroads. Vehicle mode, tow key activate, robot mode. And a CG illustration of the Dozer in action with sand. September of 2021. Well, it's a wheel loader, alright. A rather wide loader. It's a wide load. And I haven't seen any type of loader model that doesn't have a turn pivot in the front and has the hinge of the bucket all the way in the front of the cockpit so much that it has to have a bulge. Yeah, maybe there's a new type of tank steering wheel loader model, that's why it's so large. Yeah, but apart from this kind of very short, this very square, this is a very square looking loader type of model, fictionally. It does have the general loader cues, like of course the big iconic bucket that's really low to the ground, yet the wheels roll very smoothly. Step ladder into the main cabin, little exhaust stacks, bolts. There's the Toki number 7 shaped like a wrench. Black warning stripes on the back end, the front, and little handlebars. Yeah, I mean, big separated handlebars. Those aren't like filled in, but that's nice. The back is pretty cleaned up despite the obvious robot legs. Like little flaps here and little separate clear plastic transparent red headlights, tail lights. And these look like just generic white striping. They don't really look like robot bits. Yeah, this is kind of a symmetrical build. Not exactly. This one is a central short stack, while this one is like one that kind of smokes outward like this. Otherwise, it looks perfectly symmetrical. The lift arms do have some fake hydraulics and stuff, but it is a little weird that this is rather thick and the number 7 right in front is upside down. I guess you could argue that that's meant for the driver to see, but it's sloped right in the front like this, so the driver wouldn't see that anyway, unless you lift it up, but then the driver couldn't see that either, so it's odd that the number 7, is prioritized in this orientation, presumably for the robot mode, and which, look at this, it's gonna look weird. It's just kind of like a low. I suppose there are small models of Dozer, so this probably does go right well into the large Korean car bot scale. The transformation, taking the toe key and slotting in that perfect groove. Just basically splits apart the legs. But then you want to get the arms out of the way first, like double hinge red. And there is some clear plastic lining in there. Yeah, this thing mostly doesn't have clear plastic except in a few areas, so I guess that's the one hidden place they decided to put clear plastic around it. Yeah, it's not clear joints. A nice functioning bucket with the teeth and exactly what needs to be scooped in here. Very low to the ground. There is a little bit of a split here, not just here, but also here. Yeah, but it functions pretty well for tipping upwards. Unlatch and then full waist around. Yeah, I guess you have to get the arms out of the way in order to turn that waist around. And then, yeah, also the loader, back loader area. Nice turning around at the shoulders and then grabbing the head and then just sliding that right up. Then the clip of the toe key. Yeah, he has a very exaggerated short stocky build, kind of fitting for a construction foreman type of worker robot. Especially with those big hulking long arms and those short little stubby legs. Couple of robots with that body archetype. Ear height slightly taller than Dozer, but not tall enough. Nice aesthetics to have like the bucket split into big diagonally sloped big shoulders, like yeah, big armored shoulders. His name's Dozer. Power Loader is just the name of the brand of the Dozer he scanned. Yeah, I mean, not Dozer as in the Tobot's name. I mean, Dozer as in the very generic term Dozer. It's definitely not just one piece hanging out in the back, creating balance tipping back stuff. The back is also very solid and clean, even has some mechanical detailing on the back of the legs, and yes, his entire cabin is a butt. He has an entire dump load of a butt on his back. Yeah, and this is where the number 7 makes more sense as upright in robot mode. That's a funny little head sculpt, like that's a really short and squashed head, like a really small face area with like big blue goggles that go down well over his nose. Black chin strap and a very foreman construction helmet shaped head with a black crest. And surrounded by some other color areas like little caution stripes here, raised, and little blue stripes there, and then yeah, the grill, general grill area. Toe key there. I guess if you want to see the grill, you can take this off, see the little bolts there, and then plug this like this. And also good on them for having an actual canonical animation reason to put it like this. Why are your parts cement mixture? Articulation time. The head is on a full 360 swivel, mind the slider joint. Shoulders can go all the way around if you get that all the way out. And due to the transformation and how it collapses, it's a nice double joint. Nice, soft, rackety double joint. Like one in the inner shoulder, one here. And then 2 clicks outward. Doesn't go that much farther because they didn't want to break the fake tire sculpt. And because of the bull bars, you can't do that much of an innard. A little bit of an outward. And on those big lower forearms with a nice paneling and a little plus sign. And those big meaty hands. There is just a almost 90-degree elbow bend and a transformational ratcheted bicep swivel. Kind of like this, but upper shoulder. Would have been nice if those big meaty hands had some hinges there. So you could just really go grab something, but no hinges here. You just have to insert something in there. Nothing at the waist really, except this, you know, for the, you had to untransform it for the clicking transformational waist. And on that rather long midsection and legs that are mounted very low, that looks a little unnatural, but that does provide full clearance for a full forward almost. Kneecap out of the way, yep, okay. And a little bit backward. Almost that far, and then nice ratchety spread. All the way like this. Little knees. No toes, permanent stance, and that's about it. And even if you did unflap this, yeah, like that. Nice for a Tobot to have bicep swivels. Although, most of the time, they lose the thigh swivels. The most dynamicness you can get out of a Transformer toy is the arms, and the fact they can't go all out all the way, I guess it does kind of limit the dynamic posability. Yeah, now you can just have a good jogging. Hard to do a punch. Yeah, it's hard to do a punching action, like what he's known for. Oh yeah, they're kind of like this, huh? Yeah, but others can do it better. This is a double review with Mini Power Loader. It's a much more orange box than the main box. Nice flat renderings of the toy there. Number 7. Power Loader. Robot vehicle. I mean, it's the same type of packaging style, but I don't recall having this kind of studded plate here before. Big Power Dozer doesn't have that much color arrangement. Just a pretty simple color palette, and so this mini little Power Dozer can work with also the same limited colors, just black. Maybe a slightly different shade of the yellowish orange, the orangish yellow. And the white. I mean, this is not black. This is actually more of a dark gunmetal. Oddly enough, those fists are all painted, unlike these separate plastic pieces. And the lack of paint apps is not that egregious compared to other mini Tobots. Yeah, just mostly the chest area, which actually expands on the warning stripes. I guess this certain style was just extended for some reason. Maybe a little blue here, yeah, and then underside, yeah, the passable underside is missed, and also completely smooth long groin area instead of a long number 7. But it still has the shoulder stripes, the painted black feet there, and the orange side vents here. Of course, this isn't painted because this flattened permanent toe key just painted over there. And there is no power loader here, so this could be either power loader or dozer. Yeah, this turned out very well. There's not many extra paint apps you could custom apply to this. And for simplistic design, the articulation is almost the exact same as the big power loader, just with ball socket shoulders. A little bit inward more thanks to ball sockets and ball socket bicep swivels. Oh, he can even do perfect 90 elbows, unlike the big loader, which has these tabs sticking out. +1 for the little guy. And thank goodness for that really oddly proportioned but very functional low ball socket mounted design. Split that much, yeah, but there's no accidental popping off of these legs. Unless, like, trying to get a thigh swivel out of it. And because of how short and hollow his legs already were, there's not that much of egregious hollow waffles. Yeah, just about articulated as the big power loader, including the waist, just except for the head. The completely painted over orange head with a solid blue visor and a really tiny little puckery mouth, hard to make out. And you can just do the transformational hinge. And this should also transform in the exact same way, like the 270 back leg flaps, the folding bucket, full waist swivel, and with an awkward fiddling of the arms. It's a whole connection on the hands instead of extra clips on the side, so that's really clever. I mean that those handholds look smaller than 5mm and a bit bigger than 3mm, but I guess they're 4mm. Huh, what a coincidence. And oh yeah, be sure to click them on these little nubs here, or else you'll have clearance issues, like ground clearance issues, if you don't clip it all the way. Yeah, just watch the ball sockets. And instead of pushing it ahead, you just hinge it down. And this is a very nice downscaled mini dozer. Yeah, the same colors throughout, down to the molded upside down number 7. I guess it's just missing some of the minute details, like the painted in here, and no bars at all. And then permanent kneecaps, which are just rather shortened rather than just the extra flaps. And of course, no tail lights, but there is some spot for that. Even has a tiny molded asymmetrical smokestack. And yes, the hollow underside of the arms become the outward hollow bits of the dozer mode, but it is actually very ingenious that they actually molded ridges inside of those hollow bits to actually make the step ladder. Yeah, that is just a stroke of genius on a budget. And besides, I guess this one and this one don't look too bad as hollow bits. Rolls along very nicely and then does the lifting function. Hello. Yeah, imagine seeing through this in the vehicle mode and seeing everything upside down. Yeah, it's probably it's probably a little weird that he's so short for a deluxe. I don't know, maybe he scales it as much as well as, the Voyager size Optimus in deluxe scale. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I believe the mini power loader is my favorite of the Season 3 mini toy line. I mean, the first 3 had some weird concessions and simplifications, like straight arms, weird legs, and Wild Cheese pretty good, except, super hollow. And then, then also the ball sockets. This was okay, but also hollow and weird arms. Mini Earhart's pretty good, actually. Yeah, he's a close second to be the best mini. But yeah, this one looks the most faithful. It's just most simple, most posable, least compromised. Yeah, just for those qualities alone, I guess, Mini Dozer's the best one. I guess he's a pretty simple little bot. From what I heard beforehand, I guess I thought Power Loader is just gonna be okay, but unremarkable. Unremarkable mostly because he's just like a dozer, like a wheeled dozer, because it's a very popular toy and a thing to turn into a robot. There's like 100 of dozer type transformers, and so this is just like one, and maybe doesn't. Yeah, it's an alright. He's just a humble little toy, humble little dozer toy. And oddly enough, I find the mini one charming. And unlike the exotic sports car or great dune buggy or the planes, Power Dozer feels like he's just so utilitarian that he could have been featured in the original Tobot series. Yeah, minus the 7, but except Tobot already had construction vehicle robots, and they were the big brainless bad guys, which are very cool, foil, massive villainous designs, but you're never gonna see them in physical form unless... And then there's Rocky, the Athlon excavator. There's like a double dozen ways to do a Dozer droid. So there's like a low incentive to get specifically Dozer as a character. But if you're just looking for a Dozer Transformer, like so many of them that, it might not necessarily be this one, but if natively in Korea for your kid, I mean, this is a good Dozer toy. Yeah, but if you don't have particular attachment to the character, which there was not much of in screen time, maybe this is gonna be a low demand toy. It's good, but it's just low demand. Alright, we got the team back together. Time for the finale.